We are, we're live. There we go. We did it. Hello, everyone. This is Rose Chastain, the co-founder of Your Natural Healthcare, for those of you who don't know me. And we have Dr. Dorothy with us.
Yeah.
Yay, thank you for joining us.
It is my honor and pleasure, Coach Rose.
And the beautiful Dr. Dorothy is in her gorgeous office. And today's office for Your Natural Healthcare is the front of the truck. Because sometimes that's the way life goes. So before we jump into today's interview, I want to say a little bit about Dorothy. She earned her PhD in Leadership and Educational Administration at the American University in Washington, D.C. And she's continued to invest in herself as a coach, author, speaker, and entrepreneur with 50 years service as the wife of an Army Ranger. She is also a certified coach and founder of the Warrior Family Legacy Foundation, which that mission is to build families and create legacy for military families through personal growth and development, and to add the philanthropic community to veteran and active duty families for emotional support. So I could continue. She's also written several books. My favorite, the latest book is Loving Your Life, 7 Steps for Military Wives. I like also my favorite, it made me giggle, just the title of it. Where's your wiggle? What's in your wiggle? There we go. What's in your wiggle? I just love that title. That's fabulous. But the other thing you should know about Dorothy is William, my co-founder, has given her the title as the Queen, because you are, it's true. You should own it, girl. But you really are one of the most peaceful, serene, regal, self-empowered women that I know.
Wow.
And when we launched this Peace of Mind in Uncertain Times, I wrote a list of the people who occur for me like very powerful, serene people who would have something to say and want to make a difference. And you were on the top of that list, because I can't imagine what it's been like to live your life and to raise 2 boys and have your husband be in active combat and live in places all over the world. And I know that you have a lot of lessons, not just from your schooling, but from your experience. So I was wanting you to start with, if you're willing, to just tell us about you, as you call it, being a warrior wife, and how you came to really find your voice. Because across the board, people say that having your voice and being expressed is one of the key components of being healthy and peaceful. And this is something you have definitely pioneered and triumphed in there. So would you speak a bit about being a warrior wife and finding your voice?
I will, Rose, thanks. You know, for many, many years, and this is why I'm so passionate about my mission, because for so many years, I did not find my voice. I lost my voice. You know, I grew up with these very, very deep roots. So when you say I'm grounded and I'm serene, that comes from when I was a child. And, you know, I was I call it growing up in a warm, fuzzy cocoon. And so when I think about home and lifelong friends and family ties and all of the things that I was blessed with growing up, I remember hearing Les Brown speak, and this was kind of the beginning of my personal growth journey. But I heard him speak in Washington, D.C. And at that time, I had no idea about my voice. I hadn't even questioned, do I need to find my voice at that time? And I was probably 40 years old then, maybe 45. But I heard Les speak at this huge event in Washington, D.C. And he said, you have greatness in you. And it hit me, it landed on me. Like, I remember thinking, could I have greatness in me? You know, and do I have something that I can really share that's of value for other people? And I questioned that, but it started me down a pathway of, like you said, investing in myself and in my own personal growth journey that I've now been on for the last 20, 25 years. I didn't for so long. And, so often we give up because there's so many roadblocks and obstacles that come up. Life happens and we just kind of get sidetracked and we are overwhelmed and lose focus. And we think, it's not worth it. I'm here to tell you it is worth it because, I've been on the journey for 20, 25 years. It's been the last 7 that I really began to step into that power, that grounding that is there. I remember speaking from the stage in Orlando, and this young woman came up to me and she said, I've been waiting to hear your voice all my life. And she said, you have such a quiet power. And I thought, that's a beautiful way to describe it, a quiet power. And, so little things began to feed into my spirit that I realized that I had lost me along the way, and to speak into being a warrior wife, I didn't see me as the warrior. We went all the way through his career, which, over time was about 30 years. And then he served the government in a similar capacity in the intelligence field. So he still would deploy, he would go into war zones. There were times, particularly when he was in that intel field, that I didn't even know for sure where he was or how much danger he was really in. But I had to wonder, would he come back? Or would he come back physically altered and wounded? Yeah. Although every time he came back emotionally and spiritually wounded. And I had to learn how to deal with that, how do you make your way through that? How do you reintegrate? Because each of you has changed, just like what we're going through right now with this coronavirus. We're all going to be changed by this experience. Yes. And it can either be changed in a negative way, or we can be changed in a positive way. And it's a choice. And so many people don't realize they have a choice. It's a choice. Yes. That we make every day. Yes. Every single day we can make that choice. So about 7 years ago, I began to realize not only was he the warrior, he's an Army Ranger. He's the Special Forces guys are some of the worst in the mindset, or some would say best in the mindset of being steeped in believing, that we're invincible, there's nothing we can't do, and we're going to go do it. Yeah. But I didn't see it in me. And as I began to go back and really evaluate my experience all over the world, often in situations where I didn't know people, didn't speak the language, just all kind of challenging situations. Yeah. I had made it through that and I was still intact. And I began to realize I'm a warrior too. The children are warriors too. We are warrior families. And so as I worked my way through this, I began to realize, I wish some senior spouse would have come when I was a young military wife, so totally unprepared for the journey, and said, here's some things I've learned along the way. And here's a framework for just to understand, an awareness of here's some things that you can change. Here's some things that you cannot change. And then here's some tools and strategies and techniques that you can employ and implement that will make a difference in your life. And in doing so, focus on legacy. What do you want your legacy to be? And then build an individual legacy and then build a family legacy. And so through that process, that's how I came to Warrior Family Legacy Foundation. Wow. And it's a much bigger vision than I know that I will complete in my lifetime, but that's okay. Yes. I'm going to inspire and pass it on, and pay it forward. Yes. And someone else will bring the foundation into being. But I'm starting with Warrior Wives Academy. That's my first lane or step. And then For the children, I have things like Wally Goes to School and What's in Your Wiggle. And, so I'm developing content for, for the adults, but also for the kids, and not just military. I mean, all of the things that I teach are relevant to everyday life for anyone.
One of the
It's
reasons
just military lifestyle is you're sort of on steroids.
Yes, exactly. Well, one of the reasons I thought it was so important to have you be one of the people we interviewed was because of that exact thing, which is right now in the current circumstances, I think everybody feels they're under attack. There's definitely a high level of stress and fear. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and I know.
Whoops. Can you come back? Are you there? Are you there?
Second.
Okay.
Okay, so we are on again. So take 2 with Dr. Dorothy. So Dorothy, you were exactly. You were just about to answer my question, which was, we all sort of feel under attack or nervous, or I know for me, there's just definitely sort of fear in the ethos. And I would like some of your tricks and techniques to share with everybody about how you maintained your peace of mind when you were literally in war zones.
Yeah, absolutely. I've gotten much better at it as I've gotten older, which is, again, part of my passion for my mission, is to share with people what I wish I'd known back when.
Yeah.
Because it was in not knowing these things that I lost sight of who I was and the value that I bring to the table. So today I do things like I get up in the morning and I don't know if you can see my chair, but I have a chair over here. It's my thinking chair.
Oh.
And it's where I go the first thing every morning. My husband's now retired, so he likes to sleep in a little later than me. I'm very much a morning person. I love the morning. So I come into my thinking chair, I get me some coffee or some green tea. Right now I'm drinking green tea. And in my green tea, I have, for this time particularly, I have some immune that I put into the tea, and just to help kind of raise that immune system a little bit, fight off anything.
And your CBD. We've got your CBD.
And I have CBD oil.
Oh,
yes.
Get that stuff out of there. Get that out of there. I'm sending you the good stuff.
She's going to send me some really good. I don't know if you know this, but our sons work in CBD in Colorado. That's what they do.
I should talk to them. Maybe we'll do something together.
You should link up with them. I'll send you their website.
Perfect.
But they, I really believe in it. I know the value of CBD, and it does help calm, and it does help us relax. It helps focus. It's just, it's like a miracle thing. So I'm with you on that. But I have that, and I come in and I sit down and I have several things. I'm always reading several books.
Yeah.
So I have a stash of books right there by my thinking chair. And I always read something inspiring in the morning.
Mm.
And, I will meditate and pray and think good thoughts and ask myself 3 questions. Who can I add value to today?
Mm.
What will that be? And then take action on it.
Wow.
And
That's awesome.
when you have that kind of sense of purpose, real simple, but it's being intentional. It's living with intention on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be something big. It can be something small. But sometimes just something small that we do for someone means so much to them.
Yeah.
If we allow spirit to guide us on who should that be.
Yeah.
And so I start there. And then when I get Frank up, this is something I recommend for anyone too. When I get him up, we start with a gratitude journal.
Mm.
And we sit down together over coffee and we write 5 things that we're grateful for. And then we discuss them with each other. And they can be big things, they can be little things, but it's a daily practice. And when I first started that, now here's this Army Ranger guy, okay? And there was a day that if I would have suggested something like that, he would have laughed me out of the room,
Yeah. Yeah.
But he went through some really trying times a few years ago. And I said, straight to him, I said, Frank, the research shows that if you will express gratitude consistently on a daily basis, within 2 weeks, your joy meter will increase by at least 25%.
Wow.
Now, in this time right now where there's so much uncertainty,
Yeah.
I highly recommend just 5 things you're grateful for. And then don't just write it down. It's important to write it down because there's this neural connection to our heart when we actually handwrite it. But also talk about it, verbalize it. Because we've got to put it out there, the universe, and we want it out there. So express that gratitude. So that's how I start every day.
That's so brilliant. When I think about just my day today, and I was half asleep when I left today, and I didn't lock the door. Apparently, I found out, and then it's been raining, and now I'm doing this call in the car, and just everything's not going as planned, right? And that could be a great opportunity for frustration and anger and making myself wrong. But with your exercise, if I think about it, I have so many things to be grateful for, like that I have a sealed, lovely big cab truck that I can do this call in, right?
You don't have to stand out in the rain.
Exactly. That I have incredible sales staff who are there, that I get to make a difference. We did we have an event, a booth at a farmer's market, and we put together gifts for people who are having trouble getting food and things like that. And so that I get to contribute, it's just so extraordinary, all of that. Being present to what I'm grateful for makes all the difference in the world for me.
Yes, absolutely.
That's so valuable. That is awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Things. It's simple as profound, Rose.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be complicated.
Yes.
Just keep it simple, and just stay focused.
Oh.
And when something, because all kind of things happen, and they pull us off track, but just bring your focus back in and
Beautiful.
Be grateful and do something for someone else.
So beautiful. Well, I'm very grateful for you, the Queen, for this time you set aside. And that I will tell William you love him. And I'm just grateful that I get to be around and support and empower amazing people like you. Thank you so much for having taken the time and your words of wisdom to contribute to our people.
You're so welcome, Rose. You have added value not only to my life today, but you have added value to my life forever. And I appreciate you.